What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. What are we doing today? Well, what am I doing today? Risha's busy today, so I'm off on our marketplace adventure today. Before Kempton, we went to fire up the generator on the Kenworth and see how that was going, and it wasn't good. I was able to get it going by holding the governor on the generator open. It's a Onan 7500 quiet diesel. It's got the Kubota 3-cylinder D722 engine on it. So I was able to hold the governor open manually, and it eventually started, and it came back to idle. I walked away after it idled for a minute, and I came back a couple minutes later. It shut off, and there was like a gallon of oil on the ground. Started poking around, and it looks like it's pushing out the valve cover, or the breather, or something there. So it's definitely not healthy. So we were debating on what to do there, and the solution we came to was trying to find another running operating generator to put in its place, because those generators aren't exactly hard to find. So they are kind of all over marketplace. You can get a brand new one for like 12,000-13,000 off the internet. They're not, I mean, that's not crazy money for what it is, but definitely wasn't looking to spend that kind of money. I found this one on marketplace. It's out in North Brookville or something like that, Mass, which is near Worcester. And we got to go out this way anyways today to go to a Jack and Jill party. So guess what? We're gonna swing in and grab this thing, and I'm hoping that it's gonna be pretty decent. It's super cheap, and the guy said that he personally has never run it, but it was off his friend's bus, and he ran it, like an RV bus, I should say, and he ran it. He said it was fine. It's crazy cheap. It's $750. I figured for that kind of money, you kind of can't go wrong no matter what. You know, even if you just end up buying it and use it for parts. So today's adventure, we're gonna go out there and grab that with the pickup. And then this week, I'm gonna try to swap out this generator, because I'm hoping to go do another overnight next weekend between Plattsburgh, New York and Argyle, New York with Pull Off Productions. Plattsburgh's their own little thing, but yeah, so we're gonna try to see if we can get that thing in there, and hopefully it works out. Alright, so I got it. I guess I should have explained a little better. I wasn't buying a complete generator. You know I wouldn't buy something that was perfect, because I'm too stupid for that. I'm a glutton for punishment. This thing supposedly has low hours on it, controllers in here. The problem with this thing is that it was in an accident, and that piece of frame is broken off. But the generator itself and the engine looks like crazy clean. I can't believe how clean that thing is. Mine's just like puking oil like crazy. So yeah, hopefully that's it. Hopefully that works. Oh look, it's tested. I turned it over. It seems like it turns over good, clean and smooth, and got a pile of parts with it. Guy started taking it apart. Said he was going to put it in a bus. Real nice guy, kind of a hippie. Nice guy though. So yeah, we'll see what it does when we get her home. Alright, here we are. It's Monday evening. Here's a better look at this generator here that we got. The thing looks to be in pretty good shape. I mean, it is super clean. Like, there isn't a drop of oil coming out of this thing. So hopefully it's a little better than the one that's in the truck now. That being said, I don't really know a whole heck of a lot about these things other than they got the Kubota 722 on it. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's pretty much it. You know, it's the super quiet style. They have, so this is interesting here. It looks like these are all ripped off. I wonder what that's all about. Huh, interesting. I've tried to get a look at the one in the truck. Yeah, here's the exhaust system set up. That's loose too. Somebody started taking this thing apart. Hopefully it's decent. I don't know. But yeah, so yeah, it's got a broken oil pressure sensor here, which I am assuming is going to make it want to not start. But that being said, I can still probably make this thing crank over and figure out if this thing is actually going to work or not here. Yeah, I don't know. See if I can hook up the jumper cables to it and maybe make it crank over. Guess with no controller, I can't really expect it to do a whole hell of a lot. Let's try this. Well, I don't know if that's a good sign or not. Literally just spinning that starter. I mean, I spun it while we were there and it turns over. Yeah, I mean, it turns over pretty good actually. Wonder if the starter's junk. Huh. Just not engaging. It's not throwing it out. Oh man. That's funny. Alright. Maybe we'll have to take a chance. Well, I guess we should just tear this thing down since that thing isn't going to turn over, but I'm pretty confident in it. So, I think the first thing I got to do is pull this cover off this thing. I already pulled the junk that I had in here out. Looks like there's a bunch of bolts that hold the surround on there. I'm a little nervous about getting to the ones on this side since we don't exactly have any room up in here. But let's give it a shot, see what's going on. Got my cardboard creeper here, ready to pull this thing off. Alright, now I can get a better look here. Looks like same sort of connections here. Power and ground. Where's the actual lines for the power come out? It must be over here somewhere. Maybe back there? Huh. This is gonna be gravy though if you can do it all from here. You know? Slide that thing out and slide it on the forks of the skid steer. Fuel supply has the red tape wrapped on it. I better get a cutter. Okay, should probably wrap that boy up. No, that's the ground. Wrap that boy up. Also, can we talk about how that surround is held on only by 4 1/4-inch screws? I mean, that's kind of crazy to me. All right, so that's our ground. Try to do this without unhooking the batteries off the truck. I don't have any electrical tape down here, so duct tape it is on this hot cable for now, so we don't short something out. Oh no, this freaking duct tape. Whatever, good enough. Alright, so according to the new one, the exhaust comes down back there, just behind where the lugs are for the power and ground. Let's see if I can get in there and see what this one looks like. Alright, so it's dark under here, but this one, the exhaust comes straight out the back. So, see if I can get that clamp off of there, get the exhaust wiggled off. Almost pinched me. Oh man. I hope I don't need to get the torch out for this. Oh wait, I'm home and I don't have a torch. I wonder if I gotta cut that thing and then have to get a new elbow. Probably easiest way right now because I don't have a torch here. Alright, time to straight piper. If I can get in there. Jesus, why is this thing so low? Get all my stuff out of here. Really? I'm not pinning that thing down. Cut it just close enough so that it cuts the pipe, but not the inside pipe. Perfect. And that one will come out of there, feels like. Might need some love, but it'll come out of there. It might come out. Jesus, look at all the freaking soot in there. Holy crap. Look at all that. Jesus Christmas. No wonder this thing's pushing oil. Wow, that's crazy. You know, I call Mr. Wrench and Chip Shawana. They're the guys that do these things for ARI, Legacy Sleepers. And they said exhaust is probably clogged. They weren't kidding. What's that look like in there? Oh yeah. Jesus Christmas. Wow. Alright, I think I found where the wires from the house go in. Or the sleeper, I mean. Right there. That's not bad. I don't see them. Maybe they come through the back there, but I feel like... So I'm pretty good with automotive DC wiring. I'm not great with house wiring. I could probably put an outlet in if I had to, but why are there 3 wires? Like power is like power and ground. Like that's how it should be. I don't know. That's what I think anyways. But I should probably unhook this. And I should probably also go inside. It's hot in here. Should probably go shut this guy off. Because I don't really know. There's the controller for the generator. Oh, looks like it's out of power. Yeah. So I unhooked that somewhere. Anyways, I think I probably should have that off. I don't know the real answer to that. But we're going to pull that little cover off and see what's under it. Alright, so I got the 3 house wires there. That's pretty straightforward. That looks like it goes out through a grommet back there. This wire here, I assume that's for the controller. Not quite sure where that plugs in. I'm going to probably have to get in behind this thing and see if there's a plug back there or something. Alright, so I went in with the cardboard creeper. That must be our wire for the controller. Wow, full of dielectric grease. This is our power wires here. Hopefully, yeah, it looks like it's got a damn big conduit there. I hope that thing will come out of there. How the hell are you supposed to get that? That's crazy. Yeah, that's a big electrical conduit there. I guess you have to maybe see if you can get this guy loose. Wow, that's gonna kind of suck if that's the case. Jesus. Dumb. Alright, well I screwed up the damn wires back there already from pulling on them. I stripped some insulation, so I'm probably just going to end up cutting it. That's probably the right way to deal with that. So, put a new junction block in there or something behind it Make it easier if I ever have to pull it again anyways, because that's pretty stupid. Alright, so 9/16 bolts down here. I'll do the one inside first and then we'll pull these other three. Yeah, right. No way it would come out that easy, right? Oh, maybe it will. Maybe it will. Risha's here to run the skid steer. She's really excited. Axel's more excited. Why do you look so mad? What? What? Oh, I forgot I have my headlight on too. Is that better? When you wake up, go get in the skid steer. Alright, got her out. This was the part I couldn't get wires out of. You can see this one wire stripped on me as I was pulling it out. So I figured that's got to get fixed anyways. Junk. Junk, junk, junk. But yeah, I'm going to rip this top off and see what it looks like. Alright, here's the scoop. Man, this thing's shot. Look at this mess. I've never seen anything like this before. Look at this radiator. Can you imagine? That's what the other one looks like. This thing is a mess. Holy crap. Up here's actually kind of clean, but man, it's just must be just puking out this crankcase, this intake here, which goes down underneath the engine, down under here. Wow, what a disaster. Unbelievable. Alright, so I think I'm going to wrap up here for night one on this thing. It's gotten pretty far, which is good. This thing is a complete mess. I cannot believe the amount of oil that's blown out of this thing. There's literally pools of oil on the ground here. I don't know what it's coming out of. At this point, I don't really care. I mean, it must be like the rear main or something, or the head gasket. I don't really know. It's kind of just a mess. Got the radiator out here. Look at this thing. No, this is crazy. It's insanity. I don't know how that would even come close to working. Got this big plastic divider out. Exhaust is out, which actually I think that exhaust might have been part of the problem, because I saw how that tailpipe was so full of soot and stuff. Well, this thing is insanely heavy. Yeah, Axel, what do you think of that? Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull this engine out. I already spotted a problem with the other one, is that it's broken here. So these cooling fins here for the generator are broken. So probably what I'm going to have to do is swap the engine part out here, and I think I can take that generator fan thing off of there. I was looking at the new one. It looks like it's got 4 bolts that hold it on. The new one is way cleaner than this, so hopefully that's what the problem is, and it just doesn't want to stay running. Definitely have spent some time here with the power washer. I'm going to try to keep this frame assembly on this one. I've been kind of trying to keep my wiring in order here. All this stuff, I marked a couple of these. This stuff is all pretty straightforward. That all goes like, that's the start switch right there. A couple fuses. That's the circuit breaker. That's our power out to the truck. Yeah, it's coming along pretty good, but definitely gonna have to do some cleaning on her. Alright, on to the next day. Alright, we're back out here night 2 on the generator project. I just can't get over how much of a mess this thing is. Look at the amount of pooled oil down in this thing. I don't know how I'm ever gonna get this thing fully clean. Probably won't. It's a mess. Disaster. Anyways, and you keep going. I was gonna leave this thing. I don't know what that thing's really called. I was gonna leave it, but the thing's a mess. It's just a mess. So everything is a mess. So I don't know. I might swap it for the new one. We'll see. All right, we're on it. Alright, so I think I'm about ready to pull this thing. I got whatever this thing's called, the stator or what, I don't know what it is, out of the way. I did find a broken wire up here. Interesting. Just got to pick it up and get the motor mount bolts from the bottom, and then we'll hook it with a chain, get her out of there. Alright, there she is. She's out. Not the prettiest thing. Well, there she is. Now, the new one is significantly cleaner. Everything about this thing is better. I hope it runs better. I mean, if it runs at all, it's going to run better. Anyways, next step's going to be pulling this one out of this frame, getting it set in the other frame. So there goes that part. Alright, this thing's ready to come out. Risha's bringing the skid steer around. I power wash this, but apparently not good enough, so she power washed some more. Still gonna have to do some messing around with this. Actually, I think I'm gonna swap this mess out before we go any farther, since it's kind of a disaster still. So let's do that. Alright, I got this thing transferred over. Still got a chunk of insulation missing, but it's much better. These are on. Now I can have Risha pick up the new engine. I'm going to zip the frame off of it. Hopefully that just falls off. And then stick her on. Put it. Just leave it there for now.
The GoPro. How disgusting we are. This is what happens when you power wash a disgusting generator. Dave is much worse, obviously. Even the back of his head. Turn around. Tilt your head back so they can see.
I don't want them to see my pack of hot dogs.
Okay. I wish.
We're not supposed to tell people that we have a biohazard at our house.
Oh, wait. I just want to show them how gross my feet are. Okay. Do you need anything else from me?
No, you can go upstairs right now. All right, we're in. She's in there. Risha set it in with the skid steer like a pro. Everything bolted on perfectly so far anyways, as far as the mounts goes. Time to start throwing stuff together, I guess. Right? That's it. And then throw it in. Maybe tomorrow night we'll throw it in. Alright, I'm gonna throw some stuff on. Oh, also I forgot I gotta change the starter too. That's right. Alright, I'll do that too. Alright, I think I'm going to call it quits tonight. It's getting dark out. I'm tired. Things coming along great. I got all this stuff back together back here. Got to plug in all these wires. Got this heat shield back together. Next step's going to be the exhaust. These wires up here. If I can figure them out. I'll get that out of there before I forget that. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I can set this thing back in tomorrow night. I don't see why not. It's not really like I'm waiting on anything. Well, I gotta tighten that. I did order a thing from Mr. Wrench out in Chipshawana. They have this thing that goes on the oil filler that is supposed to, instead of having the oil filler way up top here with this like reservoir thing that it had, it's just a short little guy and it stops here. So that's something that I ordered up. I should have that in tomorrow. Other than that, it's going together pretty good. I did swap that starter over. See what happens tomorrow. Alright, Axel. Night number 3. Working on the generator. feel like a real redneck now. I got this engine hanging out in my driveway. And this radiator. It's kind of funny, actually. Oh yeah, and then we got this stuff. Oh yeah, and then we got the dozer torn apart over there, and I got a skid steer and a truck and another. Yeah, I have a mess. Anyways, let's try to get this thing done so we can go pulling on Friday. Everything's coming along pretty good. I got that upgrade kit from Mr. Wrench. I thought it'd be a lot more than this, but it's this is the whole kit. A dipstick, a hose clamp, a zip tie, and a smiley face ball. Like a Super Bowl. That thing probably rips. Oh yeah. Alright. So I was looking at it. See this guy here. This little plastic plug. See if I can work that out. Yeah, there it is. This little plug comes out. Right back there. I think that's where the dipstick goes. Let's try it. Look at that. Okay, so that's where the dipstick goes. I found a picture on one of the ARI bunk pages, and it just shows where the guy has the filler tube just basically like stuffed in there short. So let's see if I can do that part now. Alright, so I guess this thing just sits on there, and then you gotta cut this cable off the old cap and stuff it in there, I guess. That's what it looked like on the Facebook picture. So I'm just gonna trim this guy down about there. No, I don't have any good cutting pliers here. Okay, so this is going to go on like that. Put our clamp on. Let's see if I can get this down in there. Nope. Oh, maybe. Yep. Maybe. Okay, now that's on there. Let me go cut that off. I guess this is supposed to go. Doesn't really twist in there, but it fits in there pretty good. I don't know, maybe I can find something a little bit better to go into a 1-inch pipe, but that's actually not bad. Okay, well that's cool. That eliminates that big stupid hose that goes up over. Not bad at all. Okay, Mr. Wrench, not bad. Alright. And I got an extra zip tie because I kept it real short. And the Super Bowl. Alright, got a new oil filter on there. I know the guy I got it from said that he had just replaced it and he did the oil. So sorry, but I just don't trust anybody when it comes to that stuff. So I'd rather be safe than sorry. Alright, let's get a fuel filter on there too. Alright, this fuel filter is much smaller than what came out of there, which is good, I think, personally. Probably should have slipped the air filter in before I put this big plastic thing in, but it's whatever. Alright, now I'm going to work on some of these wires for a little bit, and then get around back and do the exhaust. Alright, I think I got this wiring situation figured out. I went back and watched my old video, and of course it's so nasty and gooped up that you can't really tell what's going on, but I sort of got an idea. I think it's right. Last thing I got to do is swap this circuit breaker over. This one's broken. Somebody must have dropped it or something. So yeah, let's do that. Alright, I got that circuit breaker swapped over. Let's try to get this radiator on next. Alright, I'm going to slip this air filter and lid in. Should have done that before. Oh man. Alright, I think we gotta start putting the actual like surround on. This is all together. That goes to the overflow jug. We got some fuses. That's the start switch. Alright, let's try to get this thing put back together the rest of the way. Doesn't have an hour meter. I don't know how I feel about that. That's a little weird. I guess some did, some didn't. Maybe it's pretty normal. Alright, I think I'm going to start dumping some fluids in this thing. To see how it does. I kind of wanted to start it on the bench just to make sure it's actually going to run. That's TBD still. Yeah. I don't know. I'm a little nervous, not gonna lie. I always get nervous on like the first fire up of something. So, we'll see what it does. Alright, so let's see what happens here. I got some diesel I siphoned out of the Kenworth. We got some jumper cables run over to a battery. Let's see what she does. think it was almost about to go. Alright, it's pretty good. Successful first test fire. Oil level's good. See if we can get some more coolant in it. And then we'll get her back in there. I don't know if I can test it. I brought a multimeter home, but again, I don't know what I'm doing with house wiring, so I guess we'll find out. Making voltage, I checked it, 123. So that must be like the low load idle right there. Seems to be going pretty good. No leaks. Sounds excellent. Blow by. I think we got ourselves a runner. Sounds great. All right, gonna wrap it up. Worst part about this job is going to be power washing this. This is disgusting. Oh yeah, that's right. And then I gotta get some wires hung out of the back of this thing so I can make some connections back there. Alright. Alright, so this is probably gonna be my least favorite part. I'm gonna use the panels off of our generator. I think there's one piece missing on the ones I got from the guy, and they're kind of rusty, to be honest with you. So obviously the rest of the generator is nice, but yeah. All right, I'm just gonna let her go on time warp for a little bit. I don't know if I'll include much of this in the actual ending video, but here it goes. Alright, so this came out pretty good. Not bad. It was really bad before. I mean, you couldn't go like that without getting a ton of grease on you. This stuff, I don't know, I could scrub it and make it a little bit nicer, but what I'm really excited about is how these came out. These look really nice. Those came out really good. Those are my panels, so they were really covered with oil. I did scrub them a little bit with some simple green. They came out good. Let's throw them on. Alright, so I got a little snag here. I forgot the radiator bolted through the back here with 2 bolts. There's these like standoffs that go there, but they're not even close to lining up. So I'm going to try to loosen up these 2 and see if I can wiggle that thing around enough to get it lined up. Alright, there she is. Another successful evening. Got her all together. This lid was a pain in the butt to get on, but it went on. Not too bad. Just gotta run these wires out here. Make myself a pigtail, since I had to cut some of them. Should have power wash this too. Nobody's gonna see it. That's our feed for the controller inside the body. Just gotta fill. Oh, I should have cleaned out. Jesus, Dave, you're slacking. Alright. Yeah. She's ready to rip. I think. I hope. Looks good. Tomorrow night, throw it in. Alright, night 4 on the generator rebuild. Hopefully the last night. I just want to take a minute and look at this thing. I mean, look how nice this looks in the daylight. You know, there's a little bit of smudging going on here from my greasy fingers, but this thing, for what it looked like, came out really good. And the only real nasty looking part is this thing, which I robbed from the new generator. That's all banged up, but I mean, what are you gonna do? It's not that bad, realistically, you know. So yeah. Alright, so what we're gonna do tonight is I'm going to make like a little pigtail for up here in this, like the house wiring part. I'm going to stick that out here because I had to cut some of the wiring on the truck when I pulled this out. I had to cut a couple of those. This came out actually pretty good too, to be honest with you. I power washed the poo out of that. I'm sure it still looks like a mess underneath. And then when Risha gets home from work, she's gonna help me grab the skid steer and we're gonna throw it back in there. Alright, there we go. Alright, so here's what I'm gonna do. I got these old wires that I cut out of a extension cord that I had made to run the generator for my house way back, like 6 years ago. I'm gonna stuff these up in there. I think I'm gonna put like automotive style butt connectors on them. I don't really know if that's like a big no-no in house wiring world, but that's what I'm gonna do because technically it's on an automobile. So We're going to stuff this up in there. Thank God all these wires are color coded. I did take a picture of it coming out, so I'm going to verify that it is just green to green and white to white and black to black, but I think that's how it is. So let's stuff them in there. Right, that's on and in there. Should be okay to go there. Again, like I said, I'm not good with household wiring, but Google AI for the win. Alright, let's get her in. Alright, I got my union operator here. Somebody who actually knows how to run something. Time to load her up and go. Alright, she's in there and pretty close to where it needs to be. And we're going to reverse the first like 20 minutes of this video. Alright. Alright, she's on there and looking real fresh, although I did get some dirt on it. Well, got her connected in the back. All our fuel lines and battery lines here. I didn't hook up the exhaust yet. I gotta mess with that yet. But, I guess, let's see what it does. Preheat. working. Oh, I hear something turning on. Charging. Oh my God, it works. Oh my God. Look at that. Now let's try this. Wow. Holy smokes, it works. See if this works. Look at that. Takes a minute, I guess, for all the lights to come on. There we go. Yep, everything's on. That's awesome. I'm so psyched. See if it turns the AC on. AC works. Not bad. It says it's 88 degrees in here. Not bad at all. Not bad. I'm pretty psyched about that. Alright. Enough screwing around. I gotta fix that exhaust. Alright, you gotta see if I can get this exhaust off of here. Alright, exhaust is out. This thing is plugged right solid. Can't even see barely a speck of daylight through there. It's insane. So, I got an 8-foot section of pipe because that's all that Canaan Auto had today. I asked for a 10 and an 8 showed up. So, hopefully I can find where it's plugged up and just lose that section, I guess. So I'm gonna stuff something in there and see what happens, I guess. Okay, well, it's clear at least that far. That's up there. Okay. Alright, so if I can get this section off, if I can get this first section off, this second section is long enough for the rest of it. Boy, if I had that 10-footer, that would have been mint. Although that's a little longer than 10. I don't know if I really need that downspout thing over there. I don't know, let's see if we can get this piece apart. There we go. The only problem now is I got the wrong end. Alright, you got it figured out. I pounded this one on here. This guy obviously fits this just fine. I'll have to pound it on. And then this fits the outlet on the generator. A little hodgepodging, but we got it. Alright, that exhaust is done. It's got a little bit of a bend to her. I don't know if you can see it. I guess you probably can. Got a little bit of bend to her. I really don't care. It's pointed out the back. That's the most important part. So yeah, that wasn't too bad. I got that all done up there. That's just done with heat shrink butts. I think that came out pretty good. The only thing left I gotta do is throw that box on. I should say. Yeah. Alright. Let's throw the box on, turn her on, and be done. I almost didn't want to put the box back on there because it looked so good. It's just in there purring away. Yep, I put the AC on in the truck just to leave it on like a load. Nice in here, holy crap. It says it's 72. AC actually just kicked off in here and the generator idled down. Everything's working just the way it's supposed to work. So pretty good. I'm impressed. I'm impressed for sure. All right, everybody, so that's going to do it for tonight's episode. Thanks for sticking with me. I think this is a pretty long video. Oh, look, I'm all covered in dirt again. I think this is a pretty long video because basically I had 3.5 nights into it, but all in all, $700 generator. Basically that's all I had in this thing for parts. You know, I had some oil and antifreeze, but that's it. So that sure beats the hell out of a $12,000 or $13,000 new unit or a $7,500 reman unit from Mr. Wrench. So I'm pretty happy with how this whole thing went. So yeah, appreciate you guys joining in. Like, follow, subscribe, follow us on Facebook. I have t-shirts and hoodies for Must Be Nice, youth sizes small through large, adult sizes small through 4X. Hit me up. I can definitely help you out in that department. Next video is going to be us pulling again. So thanks again. See you next time.